So just a few questions
Okay.
to your new records. So it's a double CD, and I know you put a lot of effort in it. And but besides that, and all the stuff that we read in all these major interviews in the major press, is there anything that you miss that you know from the Sabotage songwriting, or like recording process? You're on your own, you're alone, and Sabotage is more like a family.
It's a lot more work. I mean, it's definitely a lot more work. I still had Jeff played around and my bass player Dave from the Trans-Siberian Orchestra, so there was a good family feeling in the studio. But I mean, Sabotage is a very special band, so of course I missed that, and I'm looking forward to them getting back in the studio. It just hasn't happened yet.
Yeah. A lot of people now say, Trans-Siberian Orchestra is so big, and all the people are so involved, and everyone has a side project, and it's in the German press, it's actually written, it's time for Sabotage to split up, or everyone fears that.
I mean, the band is kind of taking a break from itself. I hung around and waited as long as I could. I live in the house where Sabotage rehearses and writes and records, and me doing a solo record, I just did it because I needed to go out and tour and play. I love Sabotage. I would want it to be playing just as much as the fans. So as far as it goes, I think the band just needed a little break, and hopefully everything will come back together soon enough to put out a record for our 25th anniversary.
Let's just have a short look into the future. So consider that your solo stuff would be very, successful. Is there any way for you to build up a foundation on the success of that records? Is there any chance for you to go on tour with it? Is it possible to transport that stuff live?
Yeah, no, that's what I want to do. That's one of the main reasons why I did it. I want to get out live, and I'm going to play the festivals next summer. I'm going to tour Europe in January and February, and I'm looking forward to going out and actually singing and doing something a little bit different. I think it's going to be fun.
So, is there anything that you regret that you never could do in Sabotage? Is there any certain topic that any certain style that you were refused to play from the songwriting process? Why? So,
well, Sabotage in the studio is very constructed. There is a definite method to that. I think the difference with my records to Sabotage is I could do whatever I wanted. So if I wanted to do something that didn't make any sense to anybody but me, it was fine. I mean, when you work with a producer, a lot of times his vision is different than yours, and with Sabotage, I don't think it was anything that was completely rejected. I just think that, like I said, when you work with a producer, there's certain things that he wants and a certain way he sees things and a certain way things can get done. I just started writing. I got a little bit stir crazy, I think, of not touring and playing. Sabotage put out one record in 7 years, so it was getting a little frustrating for me. TSO was touring, but it was only at holiday time, so I just decided that it was time for me to get to work on something constructively, and I wrote 65 songs and did my album.
Okay, our show is called What's Metal? So what does metal mean to you? Is there anything like a typical metal boundary for you, or can you go over all borders?
I think you can. I mean, metal to me is it's more of the attitude. It can be anything that you believe in. Certain people believe in black metal. Certain people believe in what they call power metal, melodic metal, progressive metal. It's like, I think it's just, when you see a festival like this, though, I think it's great to see how many metal fans there are, and to me it's been my life. Playing heavy metal music has been the only thing I've known, really. So it's something very special. It is like you talk about the family thing. It's a big family out there between all the metal bands.
Was there ever something like a big chance that you missed in your career, where you would now, you would regret it now, saying like, back in the days, if I would have done this and that, I would be here and there?
The only thing that I regret doing was leaving Sabotage when I did, because I lost the last couple of years of Chris Oliva's life for being in a part of the band with him. I mean, right now, Trans-Siberian Orchestra, I'm headlining Madison Square Garden this year in America. I mean, we're selling millions of records, and it's a different thing than I ever expected to be doing with it. I just did my very first solo record, and in that situation, I could do whatever I want. So the fact that I'm making a good living playing music, and I can create my own stuff, and I'm playing the big venues, and I still have Sabotage, which is, to me, it's one of the greatest metal bands ever. I mean, I think I'm pretty fortunate. I'm really glad I wound up where I did, because I think if my life would have wound up in a different spot, I may not be in the position I am right now. I think I'm in a good place right now.